In this video, I'm talking about how to talk to the camera when you are alone or in a public place like this one, because it's very weird and very strange for most people, and yes, it was for me also. Before I started to create YouTube videos like this, for maybe 5 years ago, I spent 1 month every day. I recorded voice at home into the computer, talking about different topics for 5-10 minutes, and then I just stopped that one. And around 2.5 months ago, I started to create videos. And first, I created videos at home in the computer, usually talking very short parts and put together, edited together. But then I changed to this kind of communication style that I just set up the video and talk into the camera without any preparation, any paper, and you can get used to it. So the number one advice is just start to do it. Choose a topic that you are familiar with and passionate about, and say a few sentences at the first time and record it. And then maybe you can practice the same topic immediately, maybe the next day, next few days. Try to add more and more. Maybe you can research. So you need content. When I was young, let's say 20 years ago, 20 years old, I didn't really have too much content. So communication with other people were usually that I was talking to them in a way that I ask the questions and they answer. So I interrogated to them, interviewed them, because I didn't have too much to say. And then I was very good at asking questions, but now I learned a lot of things in the last 20 years, many different topics: marketing, leadership, mind optimization, psychology, sociology, everything, communication, relationship, dating, how to make friends, about trust, and a lot of business topics. So I have a lot of contents, so it's not a big deal to talk. And I have structures, I have a lot of frameworks, and also sometimes I can tell stories, but usually in this kind of videos I use a structured presentation. And the reason I can talk about this very easily, because I spend a lot of time to learn, so a lot of inputs, and I talk about these topics during my teaching and to friends a lot of times. And I spend a lot of time to refine. For example, just one example is talking about emotions. I spend a lot of time during the last 20 years to think about emotions and then communicating about emotions. And when people had emotional problems, I talk to them, and sometimes I give some theories sometimes the wrong time, but sometimes later I explain to them. So I spend a lot of time. So if you want to be able to talk without any paper to the camera like this, is that practice talking in your life with your friends about a topic and get feedback. So understand so don't talk about things that is so obvious. That is the worst thing, that you have to know what is so obvious for people, so don't talk about this. But if you find something that people listen to you because it's interesting, that take a note that this topic maybe, and then you test it with other people, you talk to other people. So one element is increase the topics. Second is see the connections. So you learn more and more topics and you will see the connection. So let's say you learn something about how to teach people, and you also learn independently something about leadership, and then maybe accidentally, but you can also choose consciously to think about this: what is the connection? And you will always find connection, because there is connection between everything. So teaching is you are the leader of the students, you lead them, so it's connected. And as a leader, you have to teach the people how to do the job better, how to think, how to manage their emotion, how to handle their fears and worries, and how to do the job better. So you can see that there is a connection. So it's very easy to talk, let's say, what to say about teaching, then you already have one aspect. So you can also think about this, there is always a core topics like teaching, that people define teaching, that the material that what to give, and the techniques how to teach, and how to motivate the people. And then if you think that you finish this, that you don't have anything to say, you can also think about what are the related topics, for example, leadership. But it can be, let's say, emotion. You learn a lot of things about emotion, and as a teacher, you have to be able to influence people's emotion, like motivation, make them interested. Or sometimes you can have negative motivation, like scaring them if there is a test, how to make them take it seriously. So you learn emotion, and you realize that emotion and teaching are connected. So you go discover many different areas of life, and the connection is very important. And this is, so how can a speaker stand in front of a huge crowd and talk for hours enthusiastically, and people pay attention? What is the secret? The secret is these three things: content, structure. In other videos I talked about this framework, that if you have frameworks you can structure your presentation, and the other is seeing interconnections between them. So when you finish some topics, you can move to the related topic, and then maybe go back and go to other related topic, or from the first related topic you can also go deeper into other subtopic, which is the second layer. So let's say you talk about how to teach people, and then you talk about leadership, but leadership also includes, let's say, time management. Of course you can talk about teaching is time management, but you can, let's say, go talk about the time management. So this is the secret of people who can talk for a very long time in a well-organized way. So this is the well-organized structures and nested structures, frameworks that give the structure of the speech. And you have the structure, then you talk. Or you can have this, like actually this talking is very free. I didn't prepare anything, I just turned on the camera and started to talk. And at the beginning I didn't know what I'm talking about, but I talked about this topic a lot of times, and I had a lot of talks. So when you do this, you will associate. So the links between other topics is about association. You talk about something and it comes to your mind. And what is interesting, it has a huge benefit to practice this talking to the camera, because new ideas will come up. It happened many times that I'm talking and suddenly I realize that there is a new idea, I never thought about this, and I started to talk. And this kind of not really pressure, I don't feel pressure, I feel enjoyment when I talk, but it's something that you have to come up with. This idea is, it's kind of forcing you to think, and then you come up new ideas. And it also happens with me, at least, that when I talk to people, it happens the same. I talk about a topic and it stimulates my thinking, and even without the input of the other person, but maybe they have a good input and it stimulates my thinking. Just my talking, it stimulates to discover new areas and go deeper to things that I never thought about this. And this gives me a great learning opportunities. So if you want to practice talking to the camera, just start. This is the number one most important. Start, and don't care about the quality. That at that moment when you talk, don't evaluate yourself. Especially don't criticize, don't judge. You can do it, and I recommend this, that after you finish the video, go home or do whatever you want and watch it again and learn it, and don't really judge, accept. This is very important, that accept your level, especially when you talk, when you record yourself. Accept yourself. Don't criticize that, oh, I'm too slow, I speak too fast, I have too much body movement, or I'm too rigid and I don't move, or I don't look into the camera, or I look in other, say, just do naturally what it comes, and when you go home, then you can learn from this, but also don't negatively criticize as, for example, in my case, either I speak too fast or too slow, so not very good. I understand this, but I just accept myself. So it's always accept yourself, which doesn't mean that you don't improve, that accept that this is my level now, and do your best to gradually improve. So let's say that you start to record yourself and you realize that ideas don't come. So sometimes I don't know what to say, I had to think. It's okay. Yes, other people don't like this, but accept yourself without judgment. Acknowledge that this is one great area that you can develop yourself and improve yourself, and use this as a project that I want to improve, that idea come easily for me. So do it, accept whatever your level is, especially when you are doing the thing, the recording, and even after that, don't criticize yourself, but pay attention, okay, I have this and this mistakes, or my eye contact is not good, and try to improve. Now, and it's a good idea both to always come up with new topics, so the next recording could be a total different topic, but it is also good to go back to the same topic, maybe next day, maybe 1 week later. So it can be that you have 10 topics, let's say maybe you are young and you don't have too many topics, but let's say you finally came up with 10 different videos and you ran out of topics. So what you can do is start again and make the recording for, so let's say recording number 11 is the same as recording number 1, and it's a great opportunity to compare, and you look at this, that, oh, nah, I am much more organized than before, I still speak too fast or too slow, maybe I make too many mistakes but not so many. So you can see your progress. And actually in the everyday life, look at things, that what bothers you, what interests you, and then you can just start to talk about the topic and don't control too much yourself. So the main point that make it emotionally easy for yourself. Don't spend too much time to recording again and again if you think it's not good. Don't judge and criticize yourself, just to recording, and just by talking, let's say even if you just talk 3 minutes about a topic, let's say it's terrible, your first 3 minutes finished, then maybe a few minutes later you recorded the same things again, and probably it will be smoother. But don't make big fuss about this, that don't be a perfectionist, that is very important. In short term, don't be a perfectionist. In long term, yes, always try to improve yourself, be better and better. But when you record, okay, you make a mistake, or suddenly you don't know what to say, or you have some stupid body pose, or you go away from the camera and do a lot of things, it's okay, don't care about this. Okay, so as a summary, the most important, start to record. And I would say that almost everybody that I talked says that they hate their own voice when it's recorded. Especially when I recorded my voice and no video, just the voice, I really suffered. And my solution was I ignored my judgment, and okay, this is my recorded voice, and After a while I just didn't care, I just accept this, and nowadays I don't feel anything bad. Actually I really enjoy watching my own videos. I watch myself and, oh, this guy, I agree, yeah, he's great. He's very smart, very great ideas. Oh my goodness, I want to watch this my on next video because it's so great. Okay, so don't judge your voice. Almost everybody hates their own voice at the beginning, and get used to it and don't care about this, and get more topics, learn structures and framework to organize your ideas, learn associating to different topics, and then you will never stop talking.